Hi guys, it's me Ali, and today I will be talking about 10 things which you must do before or during your first solo trip. And even later on, you can follow these 10 points. The first thing is practice. Now, practice is very important. Now, this video is not only about bikers or people who travel in car. This is also for those who want to travel solo in a bus, in a plane, in a train. So, but this first point is only for those who are going to travel by road and they will be riding or driving by themselves. So the first thing you should always keep in mind is you have to practice. Either it's a motorcycle, you are going to do your first solo trip, either it's a car, but you should practice. Now, in my opinion, I started traveling solo on my motorcycle after years of practice. Now, I didn't start motorcycling for my first solo trip. I was very young when I started riding motorcycle. Then, with the course of time, I just made my mind that one day I have to go on a solo bike trip. So the time I thought that okay, I have to go on a solo bike trip, that was around 1 year before I actually went on a solo bike trip. So you can say that for 1 year I was like just learning how to ride on the highway. I did a short trip of 70 kilometers from Delhi to Murthal, and then I thought that now I'm ready for a bike trip which is around 250 to 300 kilometers. So that's how I prepared myself. So practice is very important. First practice, and after that only you're ready to ride or drive on the highway, because you do need experience. So the second point is condition of your bike or car. You have to keep it in a very good condition. Only then you will be ready to go on a long journey, because at the end of the day it doesn't matter how much basics you know, you're not a mechanic. If anything happens to the engine, of course you won't be able to fix it on the way. So you definitely need to keep it in a very good condition. Third thing which you should keep in mind is to download a tracking app. Now there are many apps on the Android which you can find, and you can share it with your family members, so that you also have to download it, and even your family member has to download it, and they can keep a track that where you have reached, where you or what is your current location, if you are moving right now or not, or if you have stopped to a place. It gives you some good information for free, which is really good. So I think I have used it in my I didn't use it in my first solo trip because I didn't know about any app like this, but later in my later trips I used it. I think in 4 or 5 trips I've used it, and it has been really helpful, because my mom used to know when to call and when not to call, because when I'm moving, when my location is moving, then she knows that he's riding. I don't have to call right now. And when I'm not moving, of course before she used to call, I was the first one to call, but there are times when she knew that he has reached in a hotel, I can call now. So it is really helpful, because I always told my mom, when I'm riding on that time I cannot pick up your call, and when she knows that if he's not picking up my call, he's riding right now, his location is moving, so she didn't used to get panic. That is really helpful. Fourth, if you are not using any Android or iOS phone, if in case you are using a very basic phone, then definitely you can stop and inform your parents where you have stopped for eating, or where you are staying at night. That will be great. Fifth, keep an eye on the fuel tank. That will be very good if you are on a bike ride, especially for all the bikers I'm talking about. This point especially, that you have to keep an eye on your fuel tank, and especially if you're riding Bullet, there is no fuel gauge in Bullet. You all know, all the Bullet lovers. So I know that you must be having an idea in your mind that for 300 kilometers it will run without any refuel, or for 350 kilometers my 350 standard Bullet can run for 350 kilometers without any refuel. But still I make sure that after 250 kilometers I've covered on a full fuel tank. Then I have to look for a petrol pump, because you never know when you will find a petrol pump later on. So don't wait for reserve. Before your fuel gets into reserve, start looking for the petrol pump in last 100 kilometers. That will be really helpful. So that was also, so the sixth point is again what I've explained in the fifth point: refuel your tank before it goes into reserve. Seventh point, and a very very important point: don't blindly follow the navigation. Now if you are following navigation, which is great. I mean, 9 out of 10 times navigation will tell you the right way, but I always suggest that you should always stop and ask from the local people also and confirm the direction with them. That will just give you more confidence, and it will just keep you relaxed. You won't be thinking that if navigation is taking me in the right way or not. So that will be really helpful. Next point, now don't only ask one person. If for example, if you are not following the navigation, and if you have asked one person that shall I go in this direction, then don't only believe on that one person. Just confirm that direction with some other person on the same route, or maybe if you want to confirm it once again, then you can confirm it with some other person whom you will find ahead. So I think when you follow one particular direction, don't just confirm from one person, because at the end of the day he's a stranger, and we all are humans, we all can make mistakes. So that's okay. Don't believe on one. You can confirm it from 2 or 3, and then you can follow the same direction. Next, this is also a very important point: keep your eye on the signboard. Now it doesn't matter if you are following the navigation or you have confirmed a particular direction with the local people. You should always keep an eye on the signboard. And there are times when the navigation is going to ask you to go on this way, and signboard will tell you to go on that way. Now on that I will make a separate video, because I think that will be very lengthy, and this video will stretch in a very long video. So I will make a separate video on this topic, but for now I would say that keep your eye on the signboard also. Which one to follow, that depends on the circumstances, but still I will talk about this maybe in the next video. I'll try to share my experience with you. Last, 10th point, and a very important point: ride safe. That is very very important. You don't need to ride fast. You're not racing, you're not on a circuit. If you want to race, go on circuit. You're traveling is not a race. And especially when you're touring on a motorcycle or on a car, it's not a race. So make sure you're riding safe. There are not much traffic rules on the highway. There are no red lights, green lights, anything like that. So that just we have to make sure that we don't get carried on, and we don't get carried away with that thing, that there is no red light or yellow light to stop me, so I can just put my feet on the accelerator and go on and on. So that's something which you should not do. Just make sure you ride safe, and that will be really helpful. And in that way you are also going to notice all the signboards and everything. You will be able to look around and enjoy the view. So just follow these 10 points before and while doing your first solo trip, and if you think that these points are very helpful to you, then you can follow these even in future also for your future trips. Thank you, and thank you so much for your support. Don't forget to subscribe the channel if this is the first time you're watching my video. That'll be great. Thank you so much for close to 5,000 subscribers and over 4 lakh views. Thank you so much. Bye bye.